Movie studios are in Hollywood, New York, or even Atlanta, but tonight our Joe McMahon talks with the man who decided after retirement to build his studio in the tiny town of Lyons, Nebraska.
Quiet on set.
Action. I was interested in filming making since I was in high school, seeing TV shows like Lost in Space and Star Trek.
Something that was a hobby has grown since Bill Hedges was able to retire from the post office, follow his passion, and put together a movie studio starting in 2014.
You know, there's a sarcophagus here. By chance, this building here came up for sale, and it was just perfect for what I wanted to use it for because it had nice, clear span, open, space, and it used to be the Lyons Theater, which was another reason that I was happy to buy it because when I was in high school, I actually worked here as a projectionist.
Those shows that he grew up on are what inspired him to make Cosmic Cat, which pays homage to older sci-fi shows.
Yeehaw!
What I've always been trying to do in this series is, capture that retro look from TV shows from the 50s and 60s, where they did use miniatures and real sets and practical effects. And that's what I try to do here.
Hedges had a specific reason for making the show about him and his cat Penny.
And the reason I started the series with just Penny and I was because when I started filming, I figured I'm not going to be able to get other actors to be in my film, so I figured it's just going to be me. But I needed somebody at least to talk to, so I thought I'd use my cat.
Since his show has grown, he has been able to work with more people.
Main thing that I've got out of this is just meeting other filmmakers. So, filmmaking is a collaborative, hobby. You have to have a lot of other people involved in it, and just the friendships that I've made with other filmmakers is, one of the greatest things about it. And sharing the films with people later at film festivals.
For those who want to get into filmmaking, here's some advice that Hedges has learned along the way.
Just start filming. The first thing is your film are going to be terrible when you look back at it, but you keep getting better. So it's film things that you are familiar with and really enjoy, and that you can do the best job on filming something that you know about, and just keep at it. Don't give up.
Well, why don't we go in? Maybe we can find a good movie to watch, okay?
In Lyons, Nebraska, Joe McMahon, KTIV News 4.